This month on Mustang Magazine, we catch up with the Bowl Boys for some tasty treats. We talk to some teens who say it's time for the TD Garden to pay up. We meet a guy who plays the Norwood Bells. Sam goes to Salem for some scary sights. And we still have time left over to stop and smell the flowers. These stories and more on this October edition of Mustang Magazine.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Mustang Magazine. I'm Lexi Hatch.
And I'm Tim Rose. Mustang Magazine is a show produced by the Advanced Broadcast Journalism students here at Norwood High School.
We start off this October show with a story about some local teens from the Hyde Square Task Force who might have figured out a way to fundraise for community, recreational, and sports facilities.
And that might mean that the TD Garden has to pay up. Senior staff reporters Ashley Hutchins and Mia Finizzi bring us this cover story.
Boston Latin senior Lori Pearson was volunteering at our local community center this past summer when she and a few other teenagers uncovered a contract long forgotten.
We've had this project of getting a recreational center built in Jamaica Plain for a couple of years now, and so what we were doing is trying to figure out where we could go to ask for money, donations for the recreational center. And we started thinking about different sponsors, and TD Garden came up.
And when the teen volunteers and their supervisor, Ken Tangvik, began to research the TD Garden, they discovered something that would change everything.
A neighbor, a historian in the neighborhood, tipped us off about it, and we saw that, oh my God.
What they found was an agreement between the TD Garden and the state, which mandated they raise money for the surrounding communities.
The TD Garden was supposed to make they were supposed to run 3 fundraisers a year and give that money for state recreation facilities. And we were like, well, how many have they done? And we went to the state and said, how much money have they given you? And the state wouldn't answer us.
The group claims that TD Garden owes more than $13 million to local communities. But according to government officials, they've run no fundraisers and paid nothing. Local Norwood State Representative John Rogers voted on the mandate back in 1993.
I actually voted for it. It was one of the first votes I ever took. It was Chapter 15 of the Act of 1993.
In the early 90s, the old Boston Garden wanted to build a new arena. But in order to get approval from Congress, the ownership group agreed to a few stipulations, and the mandate was very clear.
The very last section said that the new garden owners, in this case Delaware North, would be required to hold and sponsor 3 charitable fundraisers at the garden, the new garden, for 3 times a year.
Tangvik says they attempted to contact TD Garden and got no response. But after the Boston Globe picked up on the story, things began to happen.
We wanted to meet with them so many times, they wouldn't even return our email. Suddenly they're calling us off the hook, saying, we'll meet with you. Oh, can we meet today? And we're like, well, we've been trying to meet with you guys for 3 months.
We also reached out to TD Garden several times for the story and did not receive a reply. But in a recent Boston Globe article, spokeswoman for TD Garden, Tricia McCorkle, made no promises to pay up. She stated, TD Garden and DCR are committed to working together to develop a much clearer sense of everyone's obligations moving forward, and a resolution on the matter with realistic and relevant information.
Hopefully, if we actually get the $13.8 million, we hope that it will not only just go to our recreational center that we haven't had built for 16 years, but it will also go to other recreational centers to benefit other communities like ours.
After some negotiation in August, TD Garden and the state did agree to a compromise of $2.65 million, with the money going directly to the construction of a new recreational center in Jamaica Plains, Jackson Square. The group is now focusing on actually getting the rec center built.
We're just gearing up for more battles.
This might end up being a very long process, might end up being months, maybe even years, but we won't end until we get what we want and what we need.
For more information on the Massachusetts Act of 1993, Chapter 15, Section 7, contact your local representative or visit archives.lib.state.ma.us and demand some action. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Mia Finese.
Thanks, girls. For more information about this task force, visit hydesquare.org for more information.
Next up, we hope you're hungry, because it's time to visit with the owner of the new food truck that's been rolling into town since summer.
Junior staff reporters Myra Hines and Emily Trahan introduce us to this new Bowl Boys craze.
Chelsea.
When craving a healthy snack, these Norwood teenagers say there's nothing better than a tasty bowl from their favorite vendor.
It's just really good, and no other places have bowls like this.
It's pretty different. You don't really see these type of trucks everywhere, so it's kind of cool.
Bowl Boys is this food truck right here. And it's a company that serves acai bowls and pitaya bowls to the people of Norwood.
Owner Michael Magner says he loves rolling into Norwood and selling his bowls because he knows he has the flavors everyone wants.
Strawberry, banana, and pineapple.
The most popular is probably acai or pitaya, and it's a red, white, and blue bowl. And that's just strawberries, bananas, and blueberries, and Nutella on top.
A bowl starts with one of their two popular blends, acai or pitaya. After making your choice, that's when the fun begins.
Put a little granola on the bottom of the bowl, then we put the blend on top, then we put more granola, and then we just handcraft them and make them look beautiful.
And making the bowls look good is important because the photos end up on social media.
I saw it on a friend's Instagram story, and I had to DM them and be like, where'd you get your acai bowl from?
Everyone was posting it on Snapchat, on Instagram, and then finally I found them on Facebook.
With a solid following on social media, it's easy to know when the Bowl Boys are in town. Usually parked behind the Staples on Dean Street, it doesn't take long for the line to form.
I like everything about it. It's really good and refreshing and healthy, and just the atmosphere and culture is nice.
It's quick service, it's healthy, and it tastes bomb. So I come almost 2-3 times a week if they're around, literally. It's so bad, I'm obsessed.
Magner says he's not surprised by all the obsessive customers, but he does admit he was a little concerned originally that the idea might not catch on.
It took a little while to kind of teach people what acai and pitaya is and to have people try it.
Magner says he got a first taste for the exotic fruit after a trip out west with a business partner.
We went out to California and we tried acai bowls for the first time 2 years ago, and we fell in love, and then we decided to bring it to Boston and Norwood.
And it looks like people around town are glad they did. If you'd like to try a bowl of your own, follow the Bowl Boys on social media to see when they're coming next. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Myra Hines.
Grab life by the bowls.
Thanks, girls. If you'd like to try out Bowl Boys, track them on social media to see when they're headed to Norwood next.
While the Bowl Boys are relatively new around Norwood, this next story introduces us to a salesman who's been around the community for many years.
Senior staff reporters Allie Nauman and Megan Quinn show us why Norwood resident Ed Hickey is famous for his flowers.
Yeah. All right, what are you looking for?
If you live in Norwood, chances are you've driven by resident Ed Hickey on the corner of Broadway and Cottage.
I've lived here most of my life. I've lived here almost 60 years here, so I know most of the people here.
And it's that connection to people that makes his flowers an easy sell. Hickey says his main goal is to sell the flowers that people really want.
Daisies and color-tinted daisies and some carnations. That type of thing is popular because of the fall. I also have some roses. I keep them today in a little cooler because it's warm. Roses, yeah. I got red underneath there.
Hickey and his famous flowers can be found on their corner almost year-round, but business really picks up during certain holidays.
Valentine's Day, all right? That's a very busy day. You start with Valentine's Day and go to St. Patrick's Day, but somewhere in there you got Easter, then you got Mother's Day, then you got Memorial Day.
Hickey says there are benefits to shopping with him, high-quality flowers and a discounted price.
And I generally have prices that are 5 and 10, generally, and maybe 1 or 2 larger bunches if it's appropriate.
But Hickey hasn't always been a flower man. Until about a month ago, he was employed full-time by the state, working the trial court. Now in his retirement, he says flowers are his true calling.
The end result is that it's worked out pretty well, because here I am now in retirement and I have something to keep me busy.
The next time you're looking for flowers, look no further than the corner of Broadway and Cottage and show your patronage to a Norwood icon. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Megan Quinn.
Ed Hickey is definitely a Norwood icon. But recently, I caught up with another resident who isn't so well known. What he does for the town, however, is. If you live in town, you've heard them ringing. But have you ever thought about who's ringing those bells? Local icon Lee Leach says he's been playing them for over 2 decades.
So I've been playing for a little bit more than 20 years on these. And I learned how to play on this instrument right here that you see in front of you.
That instrument is called a carillon, and it consists of cast bronze, cup-shaped bells that are operated by striking keys using both hands and feet. Leach says he got the idea to learn after he realized there wasn't anyone from Norwood playing.
I got to thinking that I had some musical experience and that I would want to play the bells, especially around the holiday season, for the residents and the citizens of the town.
So he started lessons in 1996 and studied under a previous carillonist for a few years. Leach says he has a full appreciation for the instrument and the sounds it creates.
Carillon itself lends itself well to arrangements, so you can almost hear any kind of music.
But Leach says that there are certain songs that he prefers to play.
I like to play mostly popular songs and also songs that sound really nice on the bells. One of them is called Londonderry Air, which most people know it as Oh Danny Boy.
These days, you can hear Leach playing the bells at regularly scheduled times or throughout the year for special occasions. Resident Beth Vincent claims that for her, the bells are great therapy.
I heard the bells. Now I'm thinking about work and everything and all the pressure. Heard the bells, put the 2 windows down, listened to it, and for the first time in my life, I didn't want that red light to turn green because I just wanted to stay there because it kind of just diffused any kind of problems I might have had, and it was just very comforting.
And even though a lot of Norwood residents couldn't tell you who's playing the bells, according to Leach, the town definitely benefits.
It's one of these kinds of almost nearly hidden treasures. We don't intentionally try to keep it from being publicized ever, but it is certainly an asset to the town. I think a lot of people get benefit from it.
So next time you're driving through Norwood, roll down your window. You might just hear Leach playing some beautiful music. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Tim Rose.
Nice work. I never thought about who's playing those bells.
Thanks. I also want to give credit to my cameraman and partner on the story, Robert Boussier.
Now it's time to leave the town of Norwood and head back up to Boston. Last month, we met up with some Suffolk University students struggling to balance life and school.
Reporters Nick Parkinson and Adeline Janid show us how those students find the help and support they need to survive.
Valeria Miranda Farrick, Program Director at Peace Circles Boston, uses a method of restorative justice to help students express themselves.
We use Indigenous circle practice, and we have young people come together and talk about things that are really important to them. Through this circle process, a lot of social emotional development skills are developed.
Farrick has also inspired this initiative to be utilized at Suffolk University.
This is an opportunity for the college students to connect with one another. Suffolk University is a commuter school, so sometimes it is challenging to connect with other people because everyone's commuting in and out.
Students Emily Ford and Phyllis St. Hubert, who attend Suffolk, use this program to release tension and improve their education.
When I first was at Suffolk and I didn't do this, it really wasn't a place I wanted to be at. It's not, I had so much anger towards it, but then I was connected to Valeria and doing peace circles, and at first I was terrified, but it has definitely changed everything about my whole school experience.
I don't know, it just helps me for like my soul. Like, I'm a college student who works and I commute also, so it's like I'm on campus from 9 a.m. like up until 10 p.m. So, you know, doing circles a way for me to, I don't know, it's like my self-care.
The program helps to communicate conflict and discuss solutions.
There is a lot of conflict in the communities that we work with, so by giving the young people a voice, they can begin to talk about the challenges and the issues that they deal with and really feel empowered to make a difference.
Students can attest that Peace Circles has helped them in a variety of ways.
I feel like this program has affected me, myself, in so many ways. Like, it just completely changed the way I look at everything in the world and how I communicate with people.
Valeria draws her inspiration for the program through personal experience.
I grew up in Boston, and a lot of my peers got off into the wrong track. And so when I heard about circle practice, when I learned about circle practice, I felt very connected with this practice. It just really resonated with who I am and my values, and I thought, okay, maybe this is the key. Maybe this is a way that we can reach young people. It almost brings us back to our humanity. So that's really kind of empowered me to stick with the program, because it just really helps me to see that we're all human, and like if we just listen to one another and speak to one another, we can really make a difference.
She aims to spread the initiative nationally to help even more people.
My big dream, I guess, would be to expand this program nationally. I think I've just seen so much benefit come from young people and the college students who participate.
If you're interested in bringing this program and its ideas to your community, visit instituteforrestorativeinitiatives.org. Reporting for Student Television Network, I'm Adeline Janed.
Now it's time to meet another student who some might expect to struggle given her circumstances. As a freshman and brand new to the mainland United States, Andrea Zapata is actually thriving at NHS. Recently, I sat down with her for this profile.
Freshman Andrea Zapata left everything she knew this summer when she and her family packed up and moved to Norwood from an island in the Caribbean.
During the journey, there were some ups and downs, but so far it's been good. I do miss the weather a lot. I miss the hot weather. And my friends and my family.
But Zapata says she's embracing the change.
Really, I'm really proud of myself, because I didn't thought that I would be like good at it. And to me, being the first time and my first experience being in another country, I think that I've been doing a really great job.
And even though she may be in unfamiliar surroundings, Zapata says there's one place she always feels at home: the volleyball court.
It makes me feel more comfortable and not make me feel like lost. So I think that experience of trying out and making new friends, it did help me to get used to the school and all that stuff.
Zapata has been playing competitive volleyball since she was 10. Before coming to NHS, she played for the West Coast Volleyball Academy in Puerto Rico. After trying out for the Norwood team, varsity coach Paul Nemblet realized he had a special player on his hands.
Because she's so familiar with the game of volleyball, because she's been playing for so long, even though she's a freshman, she has a dynamic serve. She's a very good defensive player. She's been able to dig really good players in our league.
Zapata now starts on the varsity team, and Coach Nemblet says even though English is not her native tongue, there doesn't seem to be many communication issues.
I don't honestly see any language barriers. I think they're able to communicate really well.
And teammates say, freshman or not, she's a dominant player.
Being an underclassman is obviously a disadvantage, but she's so good, and despite how young she is, she's just so helpful to the team.
I think she fits in pretty well, so I don't really think she has a problem with that.
I mean, for me it feels normal, but a lot of people have told me that, oh my god, you're a freshman, you're in varsity team, so that makes me feel special, kind of.
Zapata's coach says it's not just her play that impacts the team.
Her passion for the game of volleyball is contagious, and it's basically spread throughout our whole team.
But just when Zapata started to get comfortable, disaster struck home. Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico on September 20th, impacting her family on the island. She says her new teammates then jumped into action.
We collected some money. We had a bake sale, so it was really awesome for the girls to think a little bit more about the situation and trying to make a difference, trying to help.
Zapata says she's looking forward to more volleyball as she makes plans for her future.
I do want to continue my life here. Norwood has been amazing. All the people here are really good and really welcoming.
And judging by all her recent success, it's apparent that the Mustang family is lucky to have her. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Allie Kelleher.
Nice work.
Thank you. Shout out to my partner, Allie Kelleher, who helped me with the story.
Okay. Now, let's go from the volleyball court to the soccer field to catch up with some other Lady Mustangs.
Recently, the girls' soccer program has added some new faces to the coaching staff, but these coaches aren't new to Norwood soccer. Jess Keller and Rose Campbell bring us this alumni story from Father Max Field.
This fall, girls soccer kicked off their season with new head coach, Miss Newman.
So this is my 5th year coaching. I was 4 years on the JV level, and this is my 1st year as the varsity coach. Going into the season, I was hoping we'd be a little more kind of competitive in our league games and winning more of our non-league games, but that's kind of the goal now.
Miss Newman wasn't alone. With the help of new JV coach Nikki McGowan, the two are working together to turn around the girls soccer program.
I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really lucky that I got the opportunity. Miss Newman reached out to me, and it just worked with my work schedule, so I'm really lucky. I love it. Season's going really well. Like I said before, our scores don't really show how we've been playing, but the team gets along great, so it's a lot of fun. It's been a great season so far.
Coaching together isn't all. The two played together throughout their youth and into high school.
So we kind of grew up together playing soccer. She was actually on one of my opposing teams when we played in the championship. Her team ended up beating us, and we went to summer camp after that kind of game ended in the spring, and that's kind of how we actually became friends, was through soccer.
It's a lot of fun. It's funny how we ended up back together. Her dad used to coach us for about 4 or 5 years in our youth, so it's really fun that we both ended up back together.
And both Newman and McGowan are enjoying the new coaching experiences.
This has always kind of been a dream of mine, even from playing. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to teach, and going through high school I did have a couple of injuries, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to play soccer forever, so kind of being able to coach was kind of still keeping soccer in my life. So
I actually had never thought about it before until I got reached out to coach lacrosse first and then soccer, and I just decided to give it a try, and it's been awesome so far. I'm enjoying it.
I love it. She is wonderful. She's been very supportive. It's really nice to kind of be on the same page and kind of want to be moving in the same direction with the program. She's fantastic with the girls. She's very encouraging. So I hope we can continue to coach together for years to come.
Hopefully the two continue their coaching careers together at NHS. Wow. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Jess Keller.
All right, ladies, switch!
Thanks, girls. The soccer team had a tough season this fall, but it looks like the program is in good hands. Good luck to them moving forward.
Okay, let's change things up a bit. In this next story, we see how some students are working to change the state of discourse at NHS and build some school unity. Senior staff reporters Rachel McCracken and Grace Gillis report.
Megan Paliuka is a member of the Global Citizenship program at Norwood High, looking for a change.
I'm doing a project called Piece by Piece. So we have a bunch of puzzle pieces that kids can decorate, and they'll be hung up on a wall in school as like a big mural.
Although views of peace might be different, all are expressed equally in one piece of art.
What we're trying to do with those puzzle pieces is build a mural that will really give anybody who looks at it, anybody who enters this building, a little taste of what Norwood High stands for.
The goals are to create a sense of unity in the school. It's a way for kids to display how they view themselves and what they view as unity in the world and their view of peace.
To buy or to donate a puzzle piece, see a GCP member or Mr. Rain for more information. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Grace Gillis.
Thanks, girls. For more information about the NHS Global Citizenship Program, visit the school website for a link.
It's October, and the NHS Latin Club is fundraising for their trip to Italy with a Halloween twist. Julia Higgins and Taylor Sypek report.
This October, the Latin Club thought of the good idea of creating boo bags to raise money to help them with their trip financially.
I have a group of students, something like 20 of them, who are going to Italy in April, and we're trying to offset the cost of the trip by doing some fundraising programs. So over the summer, some students and I got together to sort of brainstorm ideas, and one of the things we came up with was to do a Halloween fundraiser. And we had originally wanted to sell candy to be delivered during homerooms for Halloween, but the school was concerned about sending out massive quantities of sugar all at once, so we had to diversify the offerings by including little Halloween, knickknacks and the jokes. The jokes were pivotal into the boo bags, so it wasn't just candy.
This event was not only beneficial to the Latin Club, but also a fun way for students to give a Halloween surprise to someone they care a lot about.
So the buyers can just write a little message to their friend or to that special someone or something like that. So you can either just say to the person Happy Halloween or whatever. Boo bag is a Halloween goodie bag, so there's like bat rings and candies and all sorts of things like that.
So it's essentially like a Halloween goodie bag. It includes candy, toys, confetti, and a Halloween-themed joke. And you can give it to whoever, loved ones, friends, family, admirers.
So we start off by obviously bag. We tried to put some filler in there to make it look more colorful. We put 2 to 4 pieces of candy and some Halloween-themed erasers, stuff like that.
Although putting them together was a lot of work, the club raised a lot of money, helping them big time in the long run.
Well, we didn't have a goal going in. We purchased the items individually, all of the trip participants, and we pooled our materials together, and we hoped to sell enough bags to at least cover the cost of the materials. And at the end of the sales time, we made $532.
Keep an eye out for the fundraising events around the holidays here at NHS. Reporting from Mustang Magazine, I'm Julia Higgins.
Where do ghosts buy their food? At the ghostery store. Amazing.
Thanks, girls. I'm sure the Latin Club isn't done with fundraising. Good luck to them finding their way to Italy.
Okay, we're almost done, but before we go, we thought we'd leave you with a little Halloween scare. Recently, we sent a reporter up to Salem, Massachusetts to visit with a restaurant known to be haunted. Senior staff reporter Sam Doucette filed this spooky story.
Hello Mustangs, today I'm in the historic city of Salem, Massachusetts, visiting Murphy's Restaurant and Pub.
It's a restaurant that a lot of people come to if they want a good spook sometimes and hear some good stories. When we're closing and when the bartenders are closing, like you can hear like a little girl like laughing and it's really creepy. Or like, we don't mess with them. If you don't mess with them, they won't mess with us.
Before the building was Murphy's, there was a lot of flooding that caused some peculiar happenings.
6 caskets came through the walls and into the dining room. They actually took the caskets and threw them back in the graves, so now like the graves aren't even like really who they are.
Right in this spot is where the 6 caskets fell into the building, and in those 2 windows is where the little girl is said to be heard.
One day I was working and one of our old workers, Jackie, she came running down the stairs because they were like messing, like it was like the spirits were messing through the radio.
If you're looking for a place with good food and a good scare, head on down to Murphy's, and I'll see you next time at another scary site.
Thanks, Sam, and happy Halloween to everybody. Well, that's all we have for this October edition of Mustang Magazine. Thanks for watching.
Also, for more stories like these, be sure to check us out online at mustang.media or hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. See you next time. I'm Lexi Hatch.
And I'm Mr. Rogers. The sweater makes you feel like this.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Mustang. While the Bowl Boys are relatively new around Norwood, this next story I messed that up. It's the Mickey Mouse
that we're talking about?
Clubhouse.
Yeah, just think of a couple things that you want to talk about.
I want to talk about Mickey Mouse.
How about the
Hold on and be like, yeah, sure.
Talk about how much you love Brandon Wall.
No, I'm gonna talk about Black Bear.
That's a topic. That's a long conversation right there. Yeah, you thought we were gonna mess up.
Yeah, we're not. Go!